More fun than expected, humans. Thanks. Artemis? His call rang out to the heavens like a lion's roar. Am I here right now because I'm a grand servant? Or because I'm the man who shot down a goddess? I bet it's both. He's a grand servant? Orion? I renounce my grand status so that I may finally shoot down Artemis, the moon goddess. Renouncing your grand status? Now I see. I won't let you fall for anyone else but me. Nobody else but me can wield this bow. Nobody else but me can bring you down. I was summoned here of my own volition, and I'm aiming my shot at you of my own volition too. Ryan knocks the arrow, but the light of death that Mandracardo held back comes barreling towards him once more. He simply looks up at it and smiles a fierce, indomitable smile. I want to ask you something. What is it? I acquired your memories from when you were alive and compared them to a recent scan of your brain. Hey, don't go peering into other people's memories. Those are supposed to be private. The other me, the Artemis you see in your world, why does she appear to be enjoying herself so much? Oh, that? Yes, that. That's because she's in love with me. At least I think so. I don't know why, but that memory irritates me. Would you mind if I took it? Yes, I would. How unpleasant, yet unpleasant as it is, it's also fascinating. That's right, you're broken. You were broken long ago. You must have hit your limits forever ago. You must have broken down ages ago. You've been drifting around the sky by yourself for 10,000 years without anything to brighten your day. You could not even conceive of asking for help anymore, all because you're a goddess. Should have realized it sooner. I was a fool for refusing to do this, all because I didn't want to hurt you. And you're a fool too for wishing you didn't have to hurt anyone. I think that's the key difference between you here and you in proper human history. All of you should have come down to Earth, even if it meant you end up hurting others or getting hurt yourselves. So get ready, Artemis, because I'm about to hurt the hell out of you. Pulls back the string on the bow forged by a god. Why is he big as Heracles? He draws back the golden arrow made by transforming a heroic spirit's body. You've been up there all alone for too long, Artemis. It's time you came down. The man who renounced his grand status calls out to a goddess floating high above him. Don't worry, I'll be right here following with you. So many heroes gave their lives so we could come this far. Francis Drake, Mochizuki Chiyomi, Charlotte Corday, Bartholomew Roberts, Achilles, Hector, Mandracardo, Paris, Apollo, Jason's still fine. All of their sacrifices were leading up to this point. Noble Phantasm? His third noble phantasm is one that shouldn't even exist. It can only be achieved by a servant renouncing grand status, wielding a bow forged by a god with an arrow made from a heroic spirit. An arrow he fires not out of hatred, nor conflict, nor hostility, nor with the desire to kill, with compassion and love. Ochiji amore mio. So what's the importance of... why do you have to renounce your grand status throughout the week? That's cool. A lone arrow fired for the sole purpose of felling the moon goddess. Artemis soon realized there was nothing she could do to react in time. Neither intercepting the arrow nor evading it were plausible options. Firing shooting star or Tigia. Even so, she chose to return fire. Why? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? I don't understand myself. I don't understand this conclusion I've reached. I can't understand why he's doing this either. Why is he trying to kill me? Why did he break his oath in order to fight me? Why did he aim his arrows at me? I figured it out. I figured it out way back then. You weren't acting rationally when you blew up your terminal on the island she was on. You were acting emotionally. You were angry and jealous. Things you would never feel if you were just a machine. Which means these past 10,000 years must have been unbearable for you. Did you really think I could stand seeing you in such constant distress? The golden light tore through the divine blast and kept sailing on. Orion's noble phantasm raced towards its destination with speed and power unlike anything the world had ever seen. It was an arrow created solely for Artemis, an arrow fired out of his love for her. An arrow more powerful than anything, an arrow that would ignore all of Artemis' defenses, evade every unfair obstacle in his path, and find its way to her core with unfailing accuracy. Ah! Heck, it like went right through her. I realized everything the moment it struck me. He truly had to put everything he had into this arrow in order to fire it. This arrow is Orion's very essence, and noble phantasm activated at the cost of his own life, all to destroy the goddess of the moon. But in it there is not a trace of animosity to be found. This arrow was kind, merciful, compassionate, sorrowful, mournful, loving. This right here is the essential trait of proper human history and the crucial way we differ from it. This man, Orion, loved the god as his equal. It's a detestable fact. No god should ever fall, especially at the hands of a human. And yet, well, he's a kind of a demi-human, isn't he? The moment I felt jealous was the moment I truly lost. If I made all my separate units act independently, and detached the ones that were destroyed, I might still be able to stay in orbit and retain a minimum of viable firepower. But I can't. I can't do anything now that I've taken this arrow. This arrow is pure love. Now that I've been struck, there's nothing left but to fall for it. I know that Orion is from proper human history. I know he fell in love with the Artemis of his world. I know it isn't actually me that he loves, but all the same. I was so happy that he cared enough to aim his love at me. Hey, why won't you join me in eternity? Because it'd be boring. But death is so ugly and horrible, aren't you afraid of it? If you became a god, that would solve everything. I like the idea of ascending with the stars, but no, becoming a god isn't for me. Even though we could love each other for all of time, the day will come when we go our separate ways and our love comes to an end. It'll be sad when that happens, but it's all part of being human. I don't get it. Well, of course you don't. I mean, no offense, it's just... You're a god, you have a different way of seeing the world. There's nothing wrong with that. But humans I see the world differently. I think if I became a god, I'd regret it eventually. But don't the prospects of eternal life and beauty sound appealing? If you stay human, your body and soul will both grow old and feeble one day. Yeah, I might come to regret that too, but no, I'm pretty sure I'm good. Especially since one day the fact that I'm a part of humanity might come to be pretty important. But that's just a hunch. So you're throwing away your chance at eternity on a hunch? What a horrible human you are. But that might be for the best. Hey, if I ever need help as a god, will you come save me as a human? Well, I guess the answer to that question was a yes. That's right, you will, won't you? You're an arrogant, foolish human, overflowing with ridiculous sentiment. That's all true, but it's also why it is so beautiful to me. All units shutting down. At last, I can finally sleep. She feels herself falling apart. She was supposed to be indestructible, yet here she is, crumbling to pieces. The moon goddess falls to ruin not out of sin, nor out of punishment, but out of love. Did you do it? I don't know, I'm disappearing. What do you think? Yeah, I destroyed her. My part here is done now. I know it'll be hard for you to go on without me. It'll be painful and sad too, but even so, like, all I got is Jason and Mash. You keep getting back up. Exactly, last master of Earth. Man, this guy really doesn't belong to her anymore, does it? Part of me's gonna miss her, but this is how it should be. I mean, you're gonna go right back to meeting her, aren't you? I can't thank you enough, Master. I couldn't have saved her without you. Oh, and one more word of warning. Grand servants are usually summoned for a really good, specific reason. So be careful, because no matter what you run into, I won't be able to help you anymore. You see what I'm getting at? Hey, how about one last handshake before I go? Crushes me. It's okay, there's nothing wrong with crying, but don't spend your time looking back either. All of history is made up of cycles repeating like that. Someday you'll be passing the baton to someone else too, like Drake did. And when you do, you'll find you're the proudest you've been in your whole life. That's right, I'm real proud of you. No, not just you, I'm proud of the whole of history that created you. After all, you picked up our baton and ran with it far enough for us to get here. I'm sorry I can't stick around till this is all over, but between you and Mash, I know you'll make do. Alright then, get going to Olympus. I got a long overdue date with Artemis. Goodbye, TriStar. Haha, you're pulling out that name now? Okay, it's a little embarrassing, but I'll take it. Orion. As for the rest of you at Chaldea and the Wandering Sea, make sure you really give it your all as you back up Terravana and Mash here. Naturally, they'll continue to have our full support. Oh, and you there, pudgy guy. Wait, do you mean me? Who are you to comment on my physique? Who else could I mean? Anyway, thanks, you gave me the kick I needed to get back up again. Well, of course, any commander worth his salt would have done the same. That went straight to your head, didn't it? Remember, Terrorata, they only used her command cells because I ordered her to. So don't forget about that either. Good point. You know something? I thought if I managed to make Artemis fall, I'd end up disappearing all by my lonesome. I never thought I'd get a send-off like this with tears and laughter and a good company. Not gonna lie, it feels pretty great. This is exactly what an adventure is supposed to be like, and I know the others would all agree.
Check this out. If you want to sell things, yeah. Yeah, I put one over
I still distinctly seem to notice that Jason's name wasn't mentioned as one of the people that died during Orion's little fire there. So, do I still have Jason? Even though he fell asleep on Bartholomew's ship as it disappeared? From here on, it's all up to you. Orion. Let's go. I anchored the stormboard at the island's northernmost point. Come meet us there when you're ready. Remember, we still have another god left to fight. Okay, I'm ready. Yeah, we still gotta fight Poseidon with, like, no one left? Right, okay, Master, let's get going. Jason! Jason! Keep it down, will you? The last thing I need is more ringing in my ears. You're alive! Damn right I am. Not my fault you forgot. I noticed. You're headed off to Poseidon's domain next, right? I'll come with you. Well, what are you waiting for? This is the part where you say something mean to me, like as if you need me help or I wish Achilles had survived instead. Why would we ever say anything of the sort? Enough with the persecution complex. Given our current circumstances, isn't it obvious that we're glad you're still alive and willing to help? Come on, here's on. Let's go. Yeah, very well. Then I suppose I can at least go with you to face Poseidon. But no, never mind. It'll be clear enough once we get there. At any rate, we should be on our way. Let's get going.
Well, actually, I was gonna say we
Jason the Argonauts was a great movie. I liked it.
and that counts as an artifact, so not really sure that would be a good idea. Yeet.
Wait. Okay, there we go. I hate whenever it forgets. Hey, have you done this? Welcome back, guys. I wouldn't say I'm back, I'd say I'm here as a guest, that's it. Let's not sweat the details, shall we? What are you looking at me like that for, Holmes? Go on, get out of here, shoo, shoo. I do beg your pardon, old trade habits. At any rate, it is most encouraging to have you back here. Don't flatter me, Detective, we both know you don't mean that. Anyway, let's set sail for the Great Pit. Hey, Terrorata, could you take a look at the tree emptiness through the periscope for me? Yeah, sure, why not? Why aren't we getting hit by seeds yet? Do you see anything, Master? There's something off about this tree of emptiness. Yeah? You think? I'll put up the periscope's feed on the monitor. I don't see anything unusual about it. Well, I suppose it might be a little... What the? It's transparent, just like that. It's a mirage. You thought this might be the case? So that's what we had earlier. Precisely, that tree of emptiness is an illusion and therefore impossible to put down. Then what does this mean? The interstellar metropolis of Mount Olympus does not exist in the sky, quite the opposite. It exists deep beneath Earth's surface. But the only way that makes any sense is if the hollow Earth theory were correct. And that nonsense was disproven ages ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in an investigation I conducted earlier, I learned that there is also a great spirit graveyard deep beneath the clock tower, no? You mean the spiritual tomb of Albion? Okay, yes, there is that, but come on. There's a big difference between the ground under the clock tower and a giant hollow in the middle of the Atlantic. I suppose this just goes to show the power a fully blossomed tree of emptiness possesses. Apparently, it is even capable of tying a space that could normally never exist to reality. In this spot, whatever lies down that hole is the true face of reality. This also explains why Curstaria's domain is most expansive. Considering how we use Magecraft to expand the Shadow Border's interior beyond its physical dimensions, it stands to reason that a caster who excels at territory creation will be able to expand their domain. That said, a feat like this is akin to turning Earth itself into an enormous container. It truly is a display of power on a completely different scale. Then, cutting down the tree of emptiness we're seeing here would be, indeed, meaningless, as such there is only one option available to us. Instead of going up, we will have to go straight down into the Great Pit. I expect that's also where we'll find Poseidon, the last guard of Olympus. We'll be diving down and heading towards that big hole, huh? Fine by me, that keeps things nice and simple. Whoa, easy there. Heading for the hole is all well and good, but we don't want to, fall in, right? I know that. Don't worry, I'll approach it slowly and circuitously. So you get a good idea of what the... There's an incredibly powerful gravitational force pulling us towards the Great Pit. There, you see? What did I tell you? Quick, head to the surface. No, resisting will only put the storm border under unnecessary duress. As they say nowadays, I believe we should quite literally go with the flow here, but what happens if we fall in the hole? Don't worry, if I've read this right, and I believe I have, then we won't fall to our deaths. We'll more or less ride a waterfall down. I believe this is Poseidon's way of inviting us to see him. Well, Commander, what do you say? Does it even matter what I say now? We're clearly already headed down that route. Yeah, we're gonna fall, said turning an ear-piercing scream. So it'll be like going on a roller coaster. Yes, Master, that's right. I've never been on a roller coaster myself, of course. But I have a feeling this is going to be much worse than anything out there. Woo! Well, everyone has some good news. We finally arrived at the Great Pit. All that's left now is to fall down it. Ah!
Is there anything we really want from this? Is there anything got it on first try.
Our rate of descent slowed down a bit now that we've submerged, but now there's a humongous whirlpool up ahead. This is the underwater equivalent of going out of a frying pan into the fryer. We're like frogs in a washing machine. Calm down, just focus on keeping it steady and going with the vortex's flow. All hands, keep to your posts. Keep an eye out for hostiles. This is the worst turbulence I've ever experienced. Please tell me this will be over soon. I don't think my stomach can take much more. And there it is. We got an enormous mess headed our way at 100 knots. All ahead flank, evasive maneuvers. Whatever that means. Are we okay? I need a damage report. How's the engine? Hi, sir. Engine room here. One of the main engines has been busted. I'm gonna have to shut it down to fix it. Got it. Activate the secondary engines in the meantime. Hi, sir. We should reach our top speed in about 20 seconds. I just finished my analysis. This mass composed of parts that are 63%... Wait, what? 0.8% matched to those used in Artemis. So that, plus our current circumstances, we believe lead me to conclude that it pretty much has to be Poseidon. Just came out of nowhere and slammed right into not the most sophisticated attack, but quite effective all the same. And here it comes again. Load torpedo tubes 1 and 2, let's bust this thing's head open. Aye, Captain, torpedoes are loaded and ready. Fire. Yes, sir, firing first and second torpedoes. Confirming 2 impacts. But it doesn't look like they had much of effect. The target's only getting closer. Ready, 2, 3, and 4. Get the L's loaded on the double. Excuse me, can I say something? Those last torpedoes didn't actually hit. All they did was blow up. Explain. I just told you, those torpedoes didn't hit their target at all. They just exploded right before they reached it. So I tried scanning further down, and I found a ridiculously strong magical energy barrier shrouding that thing. That barrier is powered by 3 highly dense energy sources. And then when I say highly dense, I mean each one has holy grail levels of magical energy. I thought they looked familiar, and I finally remembered why. They're the same as this. Right, that thing Drake took from Poseidon. Exactly, a Poseidon core. That magical energy barrier is supposed to be powered by all 4 cores, but now that one core is missing thanks to Drake, it's left a noticeable hole. Professor, reanalyze our offensive options with this new information in mind. On it. Da Vinci is right, I'm reading a gap in the defensive barrier toward Poseidon's aft quarter. It's clear we'll have to make use of the gaping hole in our strategy. I know, we could shoot a bunch of torpedoes into it. No, that won't work. Even if we fired every last torpedo we have in there, it would only destroy his back. Remember what happened with Artemis? These things won't stop unless we completely destroy their weak points. In Poseidon's case, that means we'll have to destroy the other cores. Whoa, 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 what are you saying? Do you even hear yourself? We might know what Poseidon's weak points are, those cores, but those cores are all being protected by this impenetrable magical energy barrier. So how can we destroy the cores and get rid of the barrier, when that same barrier is preventing us from destroying the cores? There's nothing we can do, it's hopeless. My logic's as circular as a school of pilcher, but it's not wrong. I see. Once again, it appears we owe Francis Drake a great debt indeed. What are you talking about, Holmes? Go inside the barrier and taking out the cores. I'm afraid she took her methods to the grave with her. The fact remains that she opened a hole in Poseidon. Do you realize what that means? It means we can use that hole to hit the cores directly without needing to punch through the barrier. But it is far from impossible, besides it's the only option we got. Yay, Ryan, war death is an inevitability. You can't win without shedding some blood, and the ones who go in first always end up paying the heaviest price. In this case, that would be me and my ship running with water, followed by soldiers disembarking from it. Even if they succeed in destroying enemy base, that would be the worst machine we'll ever come back home. Captain? But as sure as my name is Captain Nemo, I refuse to let that happen. So I'm not running ground, or leaving the battlefield, or abandoning any soldiers to die. Poseidon might be the ruler of the sea, but we're the raging storm that treats it like our plaything. General quarters, all hands, brace! Once we evade Poseidon's next 100-knot charge, we're gonna grab onto his stern. Can you be a little more specific, sir? Isn't it obvious? We're going to fight collisions with collisions. Yay, I love pirate warfare! There you have it, Terra. We're gonna do whatever we can in order to get on top of Poseidon. By that, I presume you mean to break through the hole in his magical energy barrier? Right, from there we'll be racing against the clock. Are you ready, Da Vinci? You know, we can't race the clock without something to race in, after all. Exactly, besides, it was always meant to be a landing ship, right? Oh, Gordy! What is it? Why are you talking song singing to me all of a sudden? Oh, nothing, I just thought you might want to start stretching now is all. Huh? Okay, we're ready. Marines, engineer. I'm expecting nothing but the best nautical skills from all of you. Remember, even a single second's delay could cost us our lives. Aye, aye, Captain. Don't you worry, it might be a lot flashier looking now, but this bad boy's still our Nautilus. The engine room's all good to go. Anything you want done, we'll get done in no more than a second. That's the spirit. It's the sonar. Poseidon's headed our way again. And he's still cruising along at 100 knots. Keep going. We're going to charge straight in without fighting the vortex's current. But won't we end up colliding with him head on if we do that? We're going to make an emergency dive right before impact and evade him with a meter to spare. That's crazy! 1 minute to impact. Evasive maneuvers in 30 seconds. Only 30? Looking at the numbers, that should be just enough. Any sooner than that, and Poseidon will catch on to us. Start the countdown, Marine. 50 seconds to impact. 40 seconds. 35. 34, 33, 32, 31. Now, blow the main ballast takes emergency dive. Hi, Captain. We got a topside collision. Damage report. Nothing to worry about. It looks like he just scratched the tail fin. Good. Now, come about 180 degrees. Line us up with the current. We're gonna make our way into that hole in the magical energy barrier before Poseidon can turn himself around. Aye, sir. Coming about.